Today on the Tim Marner podcast show, I've got Angela Booth from the Crystal Booth. Tell people what the Crystal Booth is and where did it first start for you?
Okay, so the Crystal Booth is...
Booth.
Booth.
Yeah.
Yes, Booth.
That's from Leeds.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So obviously that's my name. And initially when I set up the business, it was all about crystals. So healing crystals, they played a big part in my life. And I thought that people needed to know more about it. The Crystal Booth then became a hub for healing activity. There was a treatment room in my shop, and it seemed that the treatments would get a bit more popular than the actual crystals. So when I had started the business in Yeadon, we had like a little one-room shop. Where we'd just be selling the crystals, going live on Facebook. It started in COVID. So we were doing lives from my friend's living room. And it was just basically two girls having a laugh and wanting to tell the world how wonderful crystals were. And even though my friends thought I'd lost the plot and, you know, they're just rocks, Angela, that, you know, I think you need to take a look at the real world and things like that. I got a lot of that right at the start. And then obviously as it sort of expanded and I needed a bigger space to hold like the meditations and the group stuff that we were doing. So I moved to Halo Healing House in Horsforth, where there was, I became part of like a family really, because it was a bigger space and I was still the Crystal Booth. Took my crystals there and really concentrated on the healing aspect of it when I moved premises. And I kind of lost my love a bit, not lost the love for crystals, but I became more focused on expanding my knowledge with different courses, different healing courses, massage and things like that. Sorry, that was a long-winded answer.
When you first started out, that connection with like crystals, where did that connection come from with crystals?
So, amethyst is my birthstone. I'm February born. And I think amethyst is probably one of the most popular crystals. Mm-hmm. But I would say that my true obsession started when I was reaching out and grieving for the loss of my mum. And I used to work in Leeds City Centre. I'd worked doing like... admin reception roles for many, many years. And I used to go to this place in Leeds called Global Tribe. It was a shop that I used to go to and just spend my lunch hour in there and just soaking in the smells and the crystals and just chatting to people about crystals. And I then got a book called The Crystal Bible. And then every time somebody's told me that there was something wrong with them, or you know, you've got a sore throat, or I've got pain in my back or my knees, I'd literally go to this book like it was my Bible and say, you need this crystal. And they'd be like, it's a crystal. Like, you know, there was no understanding for what. And I don't know why I believed in it so much, but I feel that when I started going to this shop and feeling the energies of the crystals, I thought there were a lot more than just rocks. And then I just got a little bit obsessed with it when I finally went for some energy healing after a couple of years drinking myself and in my grief and anger and hurt and heartbreak. I kind of sort of, well, I didn't realise it, but maybe somebody showed me the way and introduced me to Reiki. And so the crystals and the Reiki, it all kind of went hand in hand.
What was that grieving process like, you know, like for your mum? You just like 2 years, just like... What?
Yeah, just numbing the pain. Not even the pain, really, just... It happened quite quickly. She'd been poorly for a couple of years and the doctors were just telling her it would IBS or it would a water infection, just rubbish, really. And I think my mum kind of... She were always a real doer, you know, like carpet fitter, wardrobe maker, you know, everything. She did everything for us, me and my sister.
She's cracked on.
Yeah. And then she couldn't do that anymore, and she was really, really poorly. She lost a lot of weight. She kept just getting fobbed off by doctors telling her it was IBS, and I was kind of urging her to go, like, well, aren't they going to refer you? Like, what? But I think, I don't know if she knew deep down or something, it was like the urgency to get better wasn't there. Or maybe that's the way I was seeing it. I don't know now, looking back, to be fair. It was probably about 2 years. She were getting no answers, no referrals, nothing from the doctors. And then her colon ruptured and she got admitted to hospital. And then it kind of went, within 6 months, she died from that moment. So the colon ruptured because she had an extreme case of diverticulitis, which is unfortunately a bowel disease which runs in our family as well. So I had to get checked out, and my son and everything. So I'm really conscious of like what I put in my mouth now and what I drink, and just been much more aware of how food can affect your insides and that we don't see them. So her colon ruptured. Then they found the cancer the size of a grapefruit in her pelvis. So that I think after more research, the kind of cancer that she had as a known, what's the word? When it's connected, sorry. So it's like for women who have hysterectomies, it's a known,
right, okay.
I can't think of a word what I'm trying to say, but you know, it's like a, you know what I mean? So this kind of cancer comes from women having hysterectomies, but she'd had the hysterectomy maybe 5 or 6 years before that. So there's a possibility the cancer was there all that time. Nobody did the decent thing and just referred her. You know, we'll just get you checked out, love, instead of just going, no.
Right.
And then by that point, it was too late. So I've always been a bit of a party girl. I like to party, I like to dance, I like music. And I just went into party, shut down, avoiding the fact that my mum was dying, sort of thing. So I think it really started before she actually died, the whole grieving process, because it were, you know, you don't expect your mum to die, do you? And my son was 9 or 10, so I never imagined him not being without a grandma before, or me not being with a mum. It has never even crossed my mind. Then when she did die, I went off the rails. I think as many people will know, everybody deals with grief in different ways. My sister threw herself into her work, and I just wanted to get smashed and drink and cry and get off my head and not feel it and not accept. And I was really angry as well, just angry. Why hasn't anybody seen this? Why haven't they found this? What if this happens to other people? There was just a lot going on in my head, and I think I didn't feel responsible, because obviously it's not your responsibility to look after the health of your parents, is it? But I felt helpless, like I couldn't do anything to help her. And then I suppose when I went on a bit of a void it were probably about 2 years that I was just doing it in my way and drinking mainly. And
not talking about it at all.
Not really. Talking with my friends, but I didn't reach out for help. Although I did, tell a lie, I actually did a year's grieving counselling through Wheatfields Hospice, which is where the hospice in Leeds where she died. They take on, patients who are end of life. And I saw a man actually for a year. My sister refused the counselling, because she's like, I don't need to talk about mum dying. You know, she dealt with it her own way. And then when I think it had been a full year, I'd had a year's counselling. I thought it was okay. I actually thought it was okay, but it wasn't stopping me from doing my own way of dealing with it when I wasn't actually talking to the guy. So I did speak, and I think it did kind of help me, but I remember just sitting in those sessions with him and just crying for an hour, and that'd be the hour session gone. I'd be like, oh, thanks.
Well,
Thanks for that.
that's enough for you at that time, weren't it?
Yeah. Because I've had counselling in the past before, and I just thought it's rubbish. It's a load of rubbish. They don't know what I've been through, and I suppose it was quite judgmental of the counsellors that I've been to see before, thinking, what do you know about trauma and abuse? And I was very, I don't need that kind of help. But this specific guy was recommended through Wheatfields, and it was particular for grief counselling. And I did it for a year, and then he signed me out, and then it was kind of on your way to deal with it. How other ways it was.
What would you say, looking back now, I don't think you're ever over it, are you? But like, was there a point where you had to really feel that grief and to get over it? Or has it been more gradual for you?
I would say it's gradual. I'm surprised I've not cried already yet, because when I talk about my mum, it does
trigger.
Yeah, massively, but not in a bad way. Like, I'd hate for people not to talk to me about my mum because they don't want to upset me. Because when they ask me about my mum and I talk about my mum, that's me keeping my mum's memory alive. So I might be crying through the, I miss her and all that sort of stuff, but I actually feel like I do still need to talk about her. But I feel that when I discovered this Reiki healing, I've never heard of it before, and maybe my auntie saw which way I were going, or she was just reaching out. It was my mum's younger sister, that recommended me to have a Reiki healing session, and I just thought, it sounds weird, like, what even is it? I'm okay with this bottle of rum, I'm all right, I'm okay. Anyway, I went, and it just blew my mind. Like, I felt my mum's presence. I've never felt it like that before. Like, I've had tarot readings in the past, and I've always believed there were something, not quite sure what. And when Mum died, I was like, there definitely is. I can smell her perfume. I can feel her. There'd been times when I was doing sort of because I kind of went really head into it. When I discovered Reiki, I got loads of books and crystals and energy healing, and I just wanted to learn everything. And oh my God, what is this? I feel amazing. Like, it brought me so much peace, which took away the anger, which is what I was trying to numb with the booze and the drugs. So it was just like, this is new. This is new to me. Like, I just wanted to learn more, so I just ended up getting hundreds of books and probably read a page of them, if that. And then I've forgotten where I am now. Reading the books. Oh God, I'm really forgetful. Sorry.
I just wondered, the Reiki, first initial Reiki that you'd done, like, did you see anything? Did you smell anything? Did you feel anything? What was it that?
It was really hard to explain, and this is why when I'm now telling my customers about Reiki, it's very hard to give it one explanation of Reiki healing, because everybody's experience is so different. But for me, the woman had said that my mum came through really strong, and I got really emotional, felt really heavy on my heart, like she was giving me a big hug. It literally felt like I was getting a bear hug. And every time I feel that feeling, I know that's my mum stepping in even now, I feel that sometimes. I can feel it during a healing session. If somebody else has lost their mum, it's like a knowing confirmation that I'm picking up on. And again, I don't call myself a psychic or clairvoyant or anything like that, but I'm definitely sensitive to energies. I do get visions coming through and random names, or just random stuff coming through that I don't really make sense of, but I always write things down for my clients. And then, but yeah, me personally, when it happened, I don't know, it was like the anger and the upset and the torment that I've been giving myself for the last 2 years of why has this man let my mum die, it were like, it's all right. Don't, like, it's not yours to worry about anymore. As if someone had just literally like taken my breath away of the pain and the anger and the hurt and the whatever it was. And then, yeah, like I say, I just felt like she'd given me a big, massive hug. So I was just like, right, what is this Reiki? I need to learn more about it. Like, this is mad.
Again, so you just started getting every single book, just learning everything in order to do it, or just understand it and have a knowing? I
wanted to do it. I wanted to, because I thought that if it can help me, it can help others. And I didn't go into it as being, I suppose I had the treatment and I thought what a mess I was in and how much it helped me get back on that track. So going back to your question about, do you ever get over it or whatever? Definitely not. But with time, it becomes easier because you kind of know that they're not here like you and I are here, but they are here, and you can call them in and ask them to help you with things, and you might not be able to see them, but when you work with energy, you can definitely feel them and know that they're there. Like, I get my mum's voice in my head now and I think, all right, yeah, I'm listening. Like, I don't know, when you just, I wish you were your mum, or I need some help, or I don't know. And then a clever voice will just pop in my head and I'll think, all right, yeah, there you are. It isn't the same. It's absolutely not the same at all. I'd love to give her a massive hug one day, but obviously this is best of a bad situation, I suppose. And me going down this road into healing and realising what it did for me, that then made me want to help other people that have gone through the same, because it wasn't easy. And I really didn't think I was going to kind of come out the other side, to be fair. But then, what I look at it now is, if she hadn't died, this is like my silver lining, maybe. I've become this better person since losing her. And maybe I'd have still been the same, doing the same things, and if she hadn't gone, maybe. I relied on her a lot. She did a lot for us all our family. My son, me, my sister. So sometimes I just think, wow, did I really have to lose my mum just to get my shit together? And maybe I did. Because now I know, like, this path that I've discovered after losing her, I could have still been working in reception or admin or, not really living my true best life if I hadn't lost her. And it kind of gave me the whole reason as to why I wanted to start my business as well. Like, not the whole reason, but for me it was to provide a space for people to go who are just discovering spirituality, or they may have just lost somebody, or they don't have anything in common with their friends anymore, so they need somewhere to look at these meditations that they go on their own. Or because I were like that at the start. I didn't know who to go to for advice. I just bought so many books that I didn't even read any of them. So for me, creating the crystal booth as not only crystals, but also a space where people can go and step out of the comfort zone, not know where they're starting, or, try and educate them on that. And that's what I feel like I've definitely created with the business. And the group sessions that we do for meditation, the sound baths, they're all really growing now because I've got a bigger space. And I get so many people like just thanking me for, and I don't feel like I'm doing all really. I'm just sort of guiding them or telling them what books to read or what crystals that might help with that, or, you know, I don't feel like I'm sort of going out of my way. It just feels very natural for me to want to be able to, like, I know what you've gone through, or I know what it feels like. And also with my massage, because obviously once I'd started the Reiki, not everybody knew what Reiki was. So I thought, right, everybody knows what a massage is. This way I can get them for massage, but also give them a little bit of the energy healing as well, which is a beautiful combination, which I offer at the minute. And people are a little bit more open to it then, because you've already got them on the bed for the back massage. And I kind of have to explain to them, you know, this isn't a normal massage. Because I have had people kind of get up and go, what was that? And I'm like, I did say, because it can be quite emotional releasing. It can be, they can get things, they can feel things that they wouldn't normally feel in a massage, or they may see colours and things like that. So it's just very bringing the two together. Just kind of maybe because somebody might not want to even delve down that way, or they might be quite, well, I don't need healing and I'm all right, mate, I've got no trauma. Well, naturally, they probably have. Which is great if you haven't got no trauma, that's amazing. But, you know, a lot of people do from this life and past lives and our ancestors and things like that. So I wanted to create a treatment that was giving it a combination and letting people kind of get the foot in the door, sort of, so I'm not forcing them, like, please come and have this healing, but you might as well, you're having a massage while you're here, you might as well have a little bit of this as well, aren't you? So, yeah.
When's the first time you got that connection to spirit, or the first time you thought you were really connected? Can you remember that time?
There's been a few, really, I think. I would say more recently, like I said, I've been doing Reiki 14 years now. Did my level 1, my level 2, my level 3. It took like 7 years to get the 3 qualifications, because I didn't feel like I could be a Reiki master if I'm still learning on people, you know. I know some people like to do them all 3 together, but it was a very gradual process for me, and I wasn't pushing it because I was still living my Angela life, as well as getting on this healing journey and the heal side of it. So I had an experience once where it knocked me off my feet, and I was like, that's never happened before. And it made me think, oh, okay.
What do you mean, knock you off your feet? Tell me the story.
So I was doing a treatment swap with a friend of mine, and she'd been saying that for weeks she'd had this, ever since a client of hers, she's had this pain in her chest, like really, really bad. She's really poorly. She'd gone to doctors. She was like, she was saying, I've been cursed, I've done this, I've done that. And I was like, well, yeah, just come round to me, it's fine, we'll sort you out. I'm like, yeah, you could do my massage and I'll do you some healing. And it was basically, she felt like it had been, I don't want to say voodoo, but maybe something had been put on her that was affecting her heart.
A hex.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was just like, yeah, I'll sort this. Not even thinking witchcraft or all like that, or, you know, I just thought I can help my friend out here, you know. So we'd had a lovely day, gone out. I think we'd probably had a glass of wine, but, you know, that was it with our Sunday dinner or something like that. So as I'm starting the healing and I'm kind of so I'm stood at her head over like this on her chest. And all of a sudden, I'm epileptic. I've not had a fit for over 10 years now. It used to be more so when I was partying that I might have a bit of a blip, but I've grown out of it now. I'm not on medication or anything like that. But I used to get this like twitch in my arm that would go like that, and then I'd go and have a full-blown fit. But what happened was I put my hands on a hand here and my arm just started going. And then I literally, all of a sudden, I just felt this like thump on my chest and it knocked me to the floor. So my friend thought I was having a stroke. I thought I was going to have an epileptic fit. Then when I've come round and I'm like, what the hell was that? She went, it's just jumped out at me into you. And I was like, what? I was like, a bit like, what's she on about here? Like, I'm just doing Reiki. Like, you know, it was a big shock to me. But it physically knocked me off my feet. And it didn't scare me, but it made me think, right.
Yeah.
There's more to this light than just love and light.
Yep.
You know, and that was a big, massive wake-up call for me to be more protective.
Yeah.
Much more hygienic spiritually. Mm-hmm. So I used to, you know...
I can feel it when people come in my office. That's why I sage every single day. I can feel that stuff on them.
Yeah.
What they're carrying.
Yeah.
Probably not as strong as what you're saying there, because
yeah.
that's like a proper, what someone's put a hex on that person. Right.
Yeah, so when it happened, like, it literally floored me for a few minutes and I was just like, bloody hell. And I was like shaking a bit, because it felt as if someone had just gone, move, get out of the way, and I just fell back. And I was just sat for a few minutes and my friend was going, oh my God, you've got this now. And I was like, I'm fine. It don't feel like anything. I feel fine. She was like, no, they're really clever. They can hide and all this sort of stuff. So this were all new to me.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm just a healer. I just want to help people. But after that, yeah, like I say, it made me... So I ended up having to that evening... I didn't get scared because I just thought, what's it going to do? What's it going to do to me? It's just made my friend poorly for 2 weeks. I know now it's obviously jumped into me.
Yeah.
We can sort this, it's fine. We know shamans, we know, you know, it was very much like, I wasn't worried about it. But that night, so my friend was going, you're going to have to do this and you're going to have to do that. And she had me sat in a circle. So I'd surrounded myself in crystals, candles, incense. I had Lord's Prayer.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember Lord's Prayer off by heart. Oh, I do now a bit, but I had the Lord's Prayer and I was just like, right, okay, is this what we've got to do? I said to my son, I was like, don't come in here for a bit, love. I'm just doing something with my crystals and my candles. And my son was just like, he was used to it anyway, so he was just like, I'll leave mum to it kind of thing. And then I was just reciting the Lord's Prayer over and over again. I was calling in my angels, I was calling in Archangels. This is the very first time that I've done anything like this, protection-wise. Like, yeah, I've done like a little quick, I am protected, not anything...
To that scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But after this, and I feel like, again, this was meant to happen to me, to make me go, right, okay, shit like that can happen. And then, so I was sat in these crystals and I was reading the Lord's Prayer and I was phoning my friend and I was like, I can't speak. I was like, it's like the words are coming out backwards. And she was like, oh my God, you're speaking in tongues. And I went, what does that mean? I was like, right, I'm a bit freaked out now. Like, I thought I were all right, you know. Anyway, I kept doing it, just kept doing it over and over again. I got an early morning phone call from one of my clairvoyant friends. It must have been about 5-6 in the morning. She was like, are you all right? And I went, no, how did you know? She says, I'm picking something up. So this is what I mean. I've got friends that kind of can read in and check your channels and all that sort of stuff. So I wasn't really worried about it, but I had some really weird dreams, like sexual, like murder, blood, like it was just like really dark. And I don't really remember my dreams, but this dreams, it was like...
That debauchery.
Yeah,
kinda.
like sex and like blood coming through the bricks. It was just weird. And then my friend who I'd actually done the swap with right from the start, she was feeling really guilty about it. And I was just like, look, I'm fine. I'm not even feeling no. It's all right. Don't worry about it. Deep down, I'm like thinking, fuck, why did I do that? Why did I say I'd do that? Who do I think I am? You know? And then she ended up getting one of her shaman friends to come and do a clearance and a spirit removal for me. And she literally just did it over the phone. She went, right, sorted, you're done.
Really?
Yeah.
And could that person feel it on you?
Yeah, because she was close to my friend where it had come from, and she'd already been speaking to her about what it was that had been attached, and it was some black magic. It was something that had been put on her that was making her unable to breathe. So it was all over her heart chakra. So when I've gone down and gone la 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 la, like, oh yeah, this is beautiful, boom, see you later. You're like, I'm gonna come to you. So that for me was like a massive, right, I need to protect myself now. And I know that even recently, following a plant medicine ceremony, I had an attachment on me. And it was unknowingly passed to me through one of my clients. I don't even know which client. So however much protection I do, sometimes these entities, or whatever you want to call them, you know, bad energy or negative energy or whatever, when they're feeding off people's lights or fears or whatever else, they can pretend that they're a guide.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, bringing in my guides, and you know, then they sneak in that way. So that's what had happened on this particular one. This was quite recent. But it's like I'm not scared about them anymore. Like I'm very aware of what they're capable of, what I've learned about entities and energies and all that sort of stuff over the last couple of years. I feel like I've educated myself a bit more. I always know that if I'm feeling out of sorts, am I on my period? Is it the full moon? Or what clients have I seen? And this is where I'll go to. So if my energy, if I am all of a sudden feeling really agitated or upset or angry or whatever negative emotion it might be, and I think this isn't me, I was fine earlier, I will then go and do a frequency cleanse, go and get my sage out, go and get the pillow Santa out, similar to you. And anyone comes in the shop, I'm saging them, and in my house, saging them. You know, I'm so protective over my energy nowadays. But yeah, it didn't put me off. It just made me think, right, Angela, this isn't as clear as you think it is. You know, there is a lot more to the dark and the light and the good and the bad and the evil and stuff like that.
There's a lot to be said about you, mate, that you can handle that darkness, isn't there?
I would say.
That, you know, that is probably your sort of niche clientele who have got that trauma, evilness attached to them, that you are able to, you know, hold that space for people when they are in that.
I feel like that's grown with my with the Kundalini activation that I did in the last year. I feel like whatever I don't know if anybody knows that people know about Kundalini. I didn't until last year, even though I've been on this journey for 14 years. I'd never heard of Kundalini. But I do know now. Just
give people a brief explanation of that Kundalini experience.
Okay, yeah. So Kundalini energy lies dormant in every person, every human. So it lies dormant in the base of the spine, and it can be spontaneously awoken or it can be activated with the help of a practitioner guidance. And when this Kundalini energy awakens, it helps us to become the best versions of ourselves. So it's essentially a chakra cleanse, basically, a very deep chakra cleanse, starting from the root all the way up to your crown, which can then lead to a spiritual enlightenment. So whenever my Kundalini starts, it always just goes to my heart and my throat. So I know obviously there's grief there to be dealt with. I have been suppressed in many lifetimes before, and I do struggle to, even though I'm not struggling today to talk, I do struggle to speak my truth sometimes. So it just stops here. Whereas I've had clients that have had the full-blown, straight up, seen the light, got up, started healing in ceremonies. It's just fabulous. Yeah. So I think that when I went to a day retreat, a Kundalini day retreat down in London, and I started, so it was started like this. I was going, just hissing like a snake, and I'm like, whoa, what is going on here? My body was shaking.
What were you doing? What, breathwork, meditation?
Yeah, so
what
were
were you?
Sorry, I've just jumped a bit there, haven't I? We were in a yurt.
Yeah.
So there was,
Love a yurt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good old yurt. And there was probably maybe 6 or 8 females in there with 2 or 3 space holders. And they were talking us through happy, which is the ceremonial tobacco, which helps you connect, ground and meditate. So we did some happy, we did some card readings, and then we'd go into like this activation. So it would be music and healing from the women that were holding space, the Kundalini practitioners, let's say. And then they would be able to go to each person and activate the Kundalini. Not everybody's activated all the same, because everybody's at different levels with the Kundalini. So somebody can have a full-blown awakening, and others it could take years to get to that. So it's every individual is different. But when you do start working with your Kundalini energy, it's a little bit like a Moldavite crystal. I don't know if you've heard of Moldavite. So Moldavite is a tektite crystal that, when used in as a crystal, say for example, I've got a piece of Moldavite and I daren't carry it on me because it's so powerful and strong. It can basically get rid of things, people, places and situations that do not align with you, like that. So you could like end a marriage, you lose your house, lose your job, It's like big, massive, like tower moment off a card.
Yeah.
So with the Moldavite, that's like that. But with the Kundalini, because you're clearing out all your old trauma and becoming this more aligned, conscious version of yourself, because you are clearing away the blockages from your chakras and things like that. You don't want to, it's things like your food, like you're really conscious about what you're eating.
Yeah.
You're very precious about your time and your energy, because people affect you differently, you'll know being an empathetic person, somebody's vibe can really, really affect you. So it's a little bit like Moldavite in that sense, where it's basically getting rid of anything that doesn't serve
you, right, yeah.
anymore. And then you kind of, don't get me wrong, it's not like, oh yeah, we'll get rid of it and it's all sorted.
Yeah.
It's like a layer, and like onion layers. I feel that since I had that awakening, it was last year, the girls who were working on me, they were like, you've got a curse on your womb from a past life that is stopping your gifts. It sounds stupid. It sounds like, oh yeah, right, then you got a curse. And I was like, really, have I? Okay then. It didn't seem weird to me, because that's kind of what we work with when we're working with energy. You don't just work with this life, you also past lives
Ancestral,
and all that stuff and all that kind of stuff. So, I've had past life regression hypnosis where I've been a witch and I've been burnt at the stake. And so I kind of knew, all right, okay, that kind of makes sense. Me having a curse on my womb, let's go with that. And then, like I said, I was like hissing, and then this language started coming.
Hissing?
Yeah, like a snake. It was like my fingers wouldn't stop moving, and I didn't know what was going on. And
you're just going with it, you're just trusting it.
I just surrendered, because this big word in healing as well, surrendering, because half the time we go and do these healing sessions and we're like, you're not going to heal me.
Yeah, because the other side of surrender is control.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what everybody wants to do, is control their life.
This is it. And when it comes to releasing trauma and, having that ego, you don't want to do that. You're better off here drinking this or doing this or staying here. Whereas you're trying to move forward, and Kundalini's, well, what about this and what about that?
Yeah.
So when they did this, whatever they were doing, it were like I gave birth. It was like I were giving birth to whatever they discovered energetically was on my womb. They needed to get that out. So I were literally like, I had the girls sort of like an energetic giving birth, really. When I think about it now, it was literally like that. And then...
So you're in that position,
Yeah.
like you're giving birth.
Yeah.
You know that sounds bonkers, don't you?
Yeah, I know. I've got the videos and everything, and like sometimes I look at it and think, wow, that's kind of where it all started. Not all started, but I do
That's
feel
like a big cathartic moment for you.
massive. Yeah, without a doubt. I'd never even heard of Kundalini. I've been doing my Reiki for over 10 years, massage, just, you know, feeling very happy with my treatments and everything. And then this happened, met the girls that did this Kundalini awakening on me. And then afterwards, I was speaking light language.
So you talk me through a bit. So you've given birth energetically. It's all right.
I know,
listen.
Your face don't even
It's
change,
fine. Look,
does it?
we can laugh at it, can't we? And embrace it. And
I
like,
know.
it's fucking mint.
I know.
It's fucking mint. Right. So you did that.
Yeah.
And then after that, that's when you started hissing and doing the light language.
Yeah, so that was kind of coming, the light language was coming as the girls were working on me. So they were like channeling their healers to help get whatever was what they'd said was a curse.
Right, yeah.
So they were trying to get this curse off of me. And when you've got like stuff like that energetically, it can grab onto you because it don't want to leave. It don't want you to get better at your job. It don't want you to be a better healer because then you're going to heal the world. It's trying to keep you in that low, oh, this is all I can do. I'm only into massage, Whereas after that, and it would probably, I would say maybe a week or two, and like I was having these massive experiences in my healings, and I was like, wow. They just changed. My healings changed, and I felt like...
Because you're more in tuned.
Yeah, I felt like I was more connected.
That you were getting downloads because you had no blockages.
No.
Things were just coming in.
Yeah.
That she's ready.
Yeah, and I feel that with the Reiki journey up until this point, I was, you know, connecting to the Reiki guides or calling in my angels, whereas I didn't feel like I needed to call the Reiki guides in anymore. It was more like me.
Yeah.
Like part of me. Like I still find it really difficult to explain, like when you're talking about spirit guides and past lives and things like that. Well, the past life was me, wasn't it? It was my spirit, my soul as a past life. So was, say for example, a womb healer. I've channeled a medicine woman. I mean, and this is all after the Kundalini. And when I've spoke to, because I can't say, oh hi, you're my medicine woman guide, what are we doing today? I don't know what she looks like, I don't know what she's saying, but I know that she channels through me, and so what I feel is her working through me. So it was different for the Reiki. So I was like, oh God, I'm gonna tell this to people, like what I can't do, you know, start giving birth energetically and stuff like that. So I was at that point, I was a bit like, oh.
So can I ask you this question?
Yeah.
Are you doing Reiki anymore, or are you doing energy healing?
So it's
now for the commercial aspect of it, you can say you're doing Reiki because everybody knows what Reiki is now.
Yeah.
But really, are you doing Reiki anymore, or are you just doing an energy healing?
Yeah. So I'm Reiki trained.
Yeah.
And I do still offer my treatments as Reiki healing. But when my clients come to me, I ask them if they've had Reiki before, and I explain to them my situation. So if
You tell them that story?
No, don't tell them that story.
Okay.
I basically say that my Reiki is a little bit different. If you've had it before, it's very different because I use a lot of sound. I'm a sound healer as well. So I use humming, my bowls, my chimes, my frequencies, clicking, tutting, blowing, all those kind of things. They just seem to have come naturally following my Kundalini awakening.
You need to give me one of your treatments now, don't you?
I definitely do.
100% do that, mate.
Yeah, I would love to
right,
do
go on,
that.
crack on. Go on.
Yeah. And so if somebody's never been to Reiki before, I'll go, brilliant, it's great that you're open-minded, and I'll just explain to them. I'll say, I'll be putting my hands on and above you. If you hear me making any noises, it's normal. Even though I sound like I'm from a foreign country or something, I don't know. But because when my light language comes through as well, I could be talking like not making any sense whatsoever, but it's like I'm speaking dialogue as I'm moving through the healing. So if somebody comes and they've had Reiki, they know what Reiki is like normally, and then I have to explain to them. Ideally, I'd like to just move away from the Reiki word, just because it isn't Reiki anymore.
That's what I'm saying to you.
Yeah, it's more of a combination, because I do Reiki.
It's just energy healing. It's just
energy healing.
It's energy healing. Yeah, I knew this, I knew that would be the case for you, because I know that's where you are energetically. I think Reiki is maybe a good starter point for doing it, but when you get into it, you need to put your hands on people. Your hands need to be physically on people for them to move.
Yeah.
The thing.
Definitely. And I think as well, because it took me a long time to get accepted.
Well, you're more shamanic energy healer, aren't you?
I would say so. Yeah, shamanic. That's when I feel like my womb lady comes in.
Yeah.
She's very fiery, and she gets up on the bed and she's in between the person's legs. Like, I have to, because as well, it's a bit like if somebody's never had anything like that before, and I'm like, right, open your legs up, I need to get up on bed for you, and I need to get this energy out of your womb, and they're just like, okay then. Which is great. A lot of people have they're already coming, they're quite happy to do that, But if I get somebody and I think, oh, she just looks like she just wants Reiki, no sound or no or anything, I'll work that out with the client, and then it'll still be energy healing. I suppose Reiki is a form of energy healing, isn't it? It's just another word for it. You're calling in different guides. Whereas now I do a mixture of it all, and sometimes can be multidimensional as well, and very earthy and shamanic, or it can be quite galactic and sort of a way. Yeah, so it's definitely, I've definitely grown and evolved from that. But for me, and this is where I went a little bit silent for 6 months, because I was like, well, I've always done Reiki. Reiki is what I live for. Like, what is going on? I can't do anything else.
You kind of made that your identity.
Yeah.
Right.
And I were a bit like, because I'm a Reiki master, I were getting loads of people saying, can you attune me? And I was like, no. I felt like you don't need Reiki. That's what I felt. But then I thought, if 14 years ago somebody had said to me, well, you don't need, you can heal yourself, you've got this healing power within. I'd have gone,
what the fuck are you on about?
No, I haven't. What are you talking about? So I felt like Reiki was the stepping stone for me to get introduced
the gateway.
To what.
Yeah.
So I've been really...
You know that first session you had, was it Reiki that you got that first session?
I think so, yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. She was a Reiki healer. Yeah. But I suppose it was spiritual healing as well, because she was calling in, she got spirit coming through. So it's a bit of a grey area.
Yeah.
And
I feel like Reiki's a bit of a grey area, if I'm going to be totally honest with you.
I agree. I do agree. And now it's
I'm not saying loads of people are jumping on the bandwagon of it, but I am at the same time. And I'm like, we've got to be very, very careful, especially people get one session, feel like they're healed, and then now become a Reiki thing, and then they've got people attached. You know what I mean? We've just got to be careful. Make sure people do the research. You know, it's important, isn't it?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
And I think, like, for me, I've still got people asking me to do Reiki attunements, and I'm so desperate to pass on my knowledge and my teachings. I've got a lot of experience.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot, I've done a lot, I've been through a lot, whatever. But at that point, at that time, I was like, well, I can't do your Reiki attunement because I don't know if or how I believe in it anymore. So how can I teach you something? So how can I teach you something if I'm not really feeling it anymore? So that was my dilemma, and I ended up just parking it. I thought, do you know what? Just park it, we'll come back to that. And just literally just this week, actually, I've decided that I want to going to like school of my teachings, really. Like, it doesn't have to be a Reiki certificate. You can heal like me, or I can teach you how to connect, ground, heal, clear, so I'm working on bringing something together for that I can now teach in a new way.
Amazing.
Because I do feel like Reiki was great for anybody who's trying to get into it, but I do also feel like now I know what I know, that maybe it was blocking me in a way that I wasn't aware of. And then obviously Kundalini now, I've brought Kundalini meditations in, do Kundalini activation sessions. I've not done one for a while, but I think Kundalini is a massive, a really big place for somebody to start and get the connection much quicker. Like 14 years were a long time. All right, yeah, I might have felt my mum a little bit, or I might have felt spirit move into me and move out of me during healings, but it wasn't what I'm getting now, where I'm literally calling them in, I'm channeling them, and they're healing through me. That's kind of what I do now. And I know it sounds bonkers, which is why you don't.
But it's all right for it to sound bonkers, doesn't it?
Yeah, because
But like what we're saying, you just try it.
Yeah.
Just give it a go. It's all right to sound bonkers.
Yeah.
But what have you got to lose?
Exactly.
Just feel that.
And I did have a lady. She came through on a massage voucher, and she brought a friend at the weekend. Really lovely lady, Pam, actually. She was so nice, and I'd given her a massage, and because I'd said to her, well, you can have a combination if you want, because she was talking about her knee hurting. I said, well, I'll give you some energy healing on your knee. Anyway, so what I do now as well is, if I locate negative energy on a person, we locate the energy, and then we ask that energy to move. We just say, thanks for coming. We release you with love. It could have been from an old relationship. It could have been from the loss of a friend. It could have been whatever negative emotion, that energy is still holding on to that person, and it's affecting them physically. So when she was telling me about her knee, I thought, she went, doctor said there's no wrong. And I said, I don't think it's physical. I was like, I'm not a doctor. I can't tell you what it is and what it ain't. Yeah. But she told me that a cortisol injection hadn't worked this time. It did the first time. And I was like, And she was having some emotional stuff, like family emotional stuff going on. And your knees are all about moving forward. Like, every part of your body is an emotional reaction. So when you've got a problem with your elbow, if you look up what an elbow means, it'll be something to do with emotional. So this woman, I'd basically got my hand on her knee, and I was just asking this energy to move, like, whatever energy you are, Pam doesn't need you anymore, you can go to the light, we're asking you to go in peace. And she went, what the hell? She was just so shocked. She says, I've never felt out like that. I felt like it would spiked me in my knee, and then it just went. And I went, right, okay, yeah, it's just a bit of magic. But yeah, she was just, and then she came out and she went, oh my God, I feel so emotional. And like, I didn't even believe it. She'd come for the massage, basically, but she was going on about her knee the whole way through it. And I thought, right, we need to get this moving. So I've not spoke to her actually yet. It'd be interesting to see how her knee is after that. But it's similar to, other people who might have sciatica or, shoulder pains or things like that. Sometimes it's not physical, even though it is physical. It's because energy's like sitting there and holding you back or whatever it might be. A
lot of people get it through the stomach, where the stomach's swollen because of resentment or anger they've built up, and that's where the stomach holds it, don't it? And they just say, oh, my stomach hurts all the time, or it's IBS, where really it's anger or resentment that you're holding on to. Yeah, definitely.
And your liver as well. I think the liver's anger. So if anybody, I've just had a new information. Sorry. So I'm of that perimenopause age, which I'm in massive denial. I'm not perimenopausal at all, but obviously I've got a lot of friends that are at the minute, and they're all wanting to go on HRT and patches, and I'm like, no, what are you doing, please? Like, I know there's a space, and I know there is a space for medical. I'm not saying all medical is rubbish, But what I'm saying is, why do people go to the quick fix and not sort out like the hormonal side of it or the anger side of it or whatever first? So I have a guy that he advises me on naturopath and all herbal stuff and things like that. And the first thing he says for anybody who's going through menopausal rage, get them to do a liver detox. Don't tell them to go to HRT and get it from doctor. They need to look at the organs first, and doing a liver detox would probably get rid of the anger symptoms that women go through, like extreme rage. So I was like, oh, right, okay, you know, make a note of that. And I'm telling that to people now because people don't know this. They just think, oh, well, I'm perimenopause, I need to go on patch. Well, no, you don't. You don't. And it doesn't upset me, obviously. It used to really get on my nerves, but you know, I'm aware that everybody has got their own opinion, and you know, if people want to you know, take the antidepressant or take the medication for heartburn, or you know, whatever the medication quick fix is that it might be, you know, there is a natural way first that can be looked at first. And that's the whole point of me and my shop, is to say, you know, you don't need these medications. And again, I'm not a doctor. I can't claim to be what I know, but what I know is I've worked in 14 years in energy healing. I've dealt with so many people with emotional, physical dysfunctions within the body. A lot of the time they're connected, you know, mind, body, soul, as we know, we're all one. All that sort of stuff. So for me, I really want to educate people to, like, if they first come to me and go, I'm going to go on antidepressants, or I've got these for my blood pressure or whatever, I'm like, well, have you tried this? And have you tried that? Just so people are educated a little bit. I didn't know about a lymphatic system until last year. And that's a massive important system in our bodies to help rid of
get rid of toxins.
Toxins. So I always say to people now, do you know what a lymphatic massage is? And, you know, I'm trying to give them ideas for them to go and do. You know, you can do your own lymphatic massage yourself, or the tapping, and, you know, to help release it. And this is not something we've taught about in schools, or even when you go to doctors. Like, lymphatic system is a pretty big system to know, and we're not taught about it.
Lymphatic drainage.
Yeah,
it's massive.
Lymph nodes, we've got them, like, you know, you've got when you get swollen neck, because I'm like, why? I feel like I'm getting glandular fever. And then my friend, she does lymphatic, and she went, no, you've got lymph nodes under there that can get clogged up and blocked up, and all you need to do is just, like, you know, where your lymph nodes are.
Cold water's a really good one for it.
Right.
That's why I do a lot of cold water as well.
Okay.
That helps with it as well.
Yeah. Not a lot of people know these things, do they? So I'd like to think that I can bring them a little bit of knowledge and a bit of education, and, you know, maybe instead of going for that really dangerous injection that you can only have so many times a year, oh, well, I don't need to go because Angela sorted my energy out and my knee's fine now. That's my aim to help people that way, you know. I couldn't quite help my mum out of her situation, but I can certainly help others. And, you know, now I know what I know, because I ended up just throwing all my medication away. I was like, right, that's it, I'm never trusting a doctor again. I kind of went the other way. And then I got told, I went to a doctor once and I was like, right, I need to go for tests. And she was like, no, you're okay, we checked, you're not celiac. And I went, look, love, I said, I'm not leaving here until you refer me. My mum's dead because the doctor didn't do a job right. She had diverticulitis. This is what I think I've got. I'm going to sit here until you refer me. And she just went, okay, I'll refer you. And I did have diverticulitis. So, you know, some people would go away, take the medication, go back, come back, go back, come back. Months later, they've got a hole in the bowel. We don't know what our bowel looks like, do we, from the outside? So I'm just like, yeah. It's all about the energy healing and the energy work, and getting your body as a vessel to take in the right things, and fasting and food and no processed stuff and all that sort of stuff. All this kind of adds up, doesn't it? Especially for hormonal imbalances and stuff as well. So,
where can people find you, mate? Where can they find you to book in a treatment to come and see you?
So I am currently on Treatwell, so under the Crystal Booth. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram, and I've got a website which is getting rebranded and updated and everything. Following our meeting a few weeks ago, whenever it was, you really gave me food for thought.
Good, mate.
And I do really appreciate that meeting that we had, because you didn't, it wasn't like a big thing, were it? I think it was an hour of your time, and you know what? It really got the fire in my belly burning again, for wondering who I am and where I want to go with my business. So it really, really helped. But yeah, I'm in Horsforth in Leeds, and the new website will be hopefully up and running in the next few months. Maybe a bit of a change of business name, who knows?
Who knows?
Expanding maybe. And yeah, that's it, I think, for now.
Appreciate you, mate.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you too.
Thank you for listening, everybody. Good.
you.
Bye.
Tim Marner, what, you're branding with the best. Tim Marner, what, you're branding with the best. Tim Marner, what, you're branding with the best. Tim Marner.